Have you ever felt that icky, dreadful feeling that makes the bottom of your stomach drop at the end of the session when you're like, I don't know if my session actually worked. Did I do something wrong? Am I missing something? And you start doubting yourself about your ability to actually keep doing this long term. And there are some sessions where you feel pretty good about the results that the client will have. But for most of the time, it's kind of just like a blind dark shoot, right? It feels like spaghetti on the wall. You don't know that if at the end your client is going to be a different person until a few sessions later, whether you are someone who actually hands out packages. And this type of uncertainty is stressful as fuck, right? And you've probably tried many things. You've probably tried adding more tools in your box. You've probably tried learning more intellectually about trauma. You've probably memorized more techniques. You've probably helped your clients go deeper. You've probably gone from certifications through certifications, but you're still not confident. Now, I'm first going to tell you that this has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with what you're taught. And the reason why this is so is because most hypnosis and NLP trainings just focused on if the hypnosis worked instead of did my client get the results. There is a massive difference between hypnosis and the actual client therapeutic breakthrough that is supposed to happen if you are someone who makes a difference, who wants to make a difference, and you actually want to help clients give the result. You don't need to do hypnosis or NLP to work with the subconscious. That is a false belief that they implant you so that you stay in their programs. Truth of the matter is those things are one of the ways or a few of the ways, but they're not necessary. So the reason why you don't feel confident is because you've been taught and you're under this false impression that you got to hypnotize more, that it is your tools that actually help a client to transform. That is what you say, what you do, how you complete the protocol that what is based on the symptom anyway. That actually helps client results. But that's not the actual case. There are many reasons why. There are many reasons as to how you can help a client transform their lives other than the protocols that you use, right? Because you're also someone who applies this strategically. You go through it by the book, but unfortunately, it's not happening. And so you're thinking it's you. And because you're thinking it's you, you feel dreadful. You feel like shit about yourself. You feel guilty. You feel ashamed. And although these are very much valid because you truly care for your clients, you beating yourself up is not going to be very helpful. So what I encourage you is actually to look at things very honestly. And that's really it. You owe yourself this honesty to look at what like the methods you're using, are they actually helping? And be very, very direct and honest with yourself. I had to do this, and this was the most confronting thing that I've ever done for my business, right? I I was under the impression because I didn't know any better that audios were the biggest thing, that suggestions were the biggest thing, that I had to get my clients deeper. That's what I thought I needed to do, but I was wrong, right? I was wrong. And being able to admit to yourself that your old methods are just not right for you and how you work is the first step to this. And so we need to know what we need to fix in order to fix it, right? And so is that the thing for you? I can tell you now that a lot of practitioners, especially if you are someone who truly wants to make a difference, you are here because you feel called to help people. You really want to work with the conscious because this is how you know is what will get your clients the fastest results, right? And you've done all of the things, but they don't really match up. And it's really not because of you. It's not because of your imposter. It's not has nothing to do with you. It is because you just haven't learned the right skill set to actually work with the subconscious. And so even this is going to be quite a very hard thing for a lot of people to accept. but let me just share you this. Let me ask you this question, right? If your tools were Actually, let me rephrase that question. How can your tools actually help a client knowing that their actual real problem is unconscious in nature, and maybe they can't even fully express it yet until you help them through it? How do you know that it will be the breath work that will help? How do you know that it is going to be your suggestions that will help? How do you know that it is going to be the magical questions that your training facility gave you that is going to do it? You don't know that because you're living in your head instead of actually entering your client's world. So inside the client breakthrough catalyst program, we enter our client's world. This is very different. Traditional methods will help you take what a client says from their intake form or within their sessions, and you as a practitioner will now need to do something about this, right? Like you need to fix it somehow. You got to use your tools. You got to take all the questions or the language patterns and all that shit into your sessions to fix your client. How's that working for you? Is this the impact you want to make? Because I know deep down, you know that there is something more, right? There is something better. There is something easier. You know how fast a breakthrough can be, but it's not your reality right now because you're using the wrong tools. And when you switch that up and switch that shit around and instead enter your client's world instead of you creating a world for them, just watch how your results will work. You don't need to prepare for something that is unconscious and unpredictable and illogical in nature, which is what the unconscious mind is. You like literally cannot predict that. It conflicts so much. A lot of trainings are a walking conflict. How can you script a completely illogical unconscious mind? You just can't. And if you want results at a deep unconscious level, you got to meet that shit where it's at, right? You got to meet the unconscious where it's at, and it's not from telling you what to do. You know this. Do you like being told what to do? Exactly, right? Unconsciously, you resist that shit. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter how much suggestible you are, that may be temporary, but eventually that will hit a wall because the real problem isn't addressed. The real problem, the actual root, will only be addressed once the client actually knows what that deep layer is. And that comes from investigation, that comes from you entering your client's world, looking around it, and helping them figure it out themselves. So when you know how to do this, when you know exactly how to enter your client's world, you don't need to prep because you can't really prepare for this shit. One of the earlier demos we've had in the training that we had so far, we just had our client visualize something really profound that none of us could have ever predicted. And that's how she's to resolve their problem through a visualization. Meanwhile, the exact same client was very, very different a month ago solving her problem. So it's not just that, right? And so when you actually know how to enter your client's world, you no longer have to stress because you know that preparation is going to be obsolete because you cannot predict anything that your clients will tell you. You will no longer have to feel exhausted because you're not going to waste time preparing. You're not going to waste time doing the audios. You're not going to waste time thinking how you will help. Instead, you'll just like it's like a button, right? You're just going to turn on like that your client's ability to heal themselves. You're just going to go into your sessions in a conversation. Like literally, you can have a strategy call right now. And after half an hour to an hour later, after you finish, after a client pays, you're literally just going to go into your session and you're going to be confident in knowing exactly that by the end, that client's going to be a different person. That is a type of breakthroughs we have inside the catalyst, the client breakthrough catalyst program. And so this is really something that you want to be honest with yourself with, because this is what's going to help you have better client results. And if not, then you'll keep doubting yourself. You'll keep attaching it to the wrong thing when really the solution can be as simple as switching everything around, simple, but obviously not easy. But when you switch everything around and really focus on entering your client's world instead of you putting pressure on yourself, creating your world for them, which is not going to really work long term, and then that will make a big difference in your work. And so, if you are someone who truly believes that the client does have the answers within themselves, and you actually want real life demos and an actual step-by-step process on how to work with the unconscious mind to have the breakthroughs that your clients want and need, make it fast, make it efficient, make it easy, make it tangible so that you can see the transformations. And you're just going to go into your session knowing that by the end, your client actually transforms for good and you have this confidence. And because of this confidence, you have no shame and you're proud of charging high ticket for it, then definitely message me CBC below to see if you would qualify for the program that can help you receive this exact result.